This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV, 5 topics in about 10 minutes. For Monday, October 30th, 2023, I'm Derek Gilbert. Topic number 5, of course, is Israel. The ground war in Gaza has begun, although I don't think it's going to look the way the planners at Hamas expect it to go. The Israel Defense Force, IDF, knows that time is on its side as long as it keeps fuel out of Gaza. Now, I know that there are those saying that this will lead to a humanitarian crisis, but the fact is that Hamas has been diverting fuel intended to run the generators for hospitals, things that are really for the public good, to Hamas's own generators, which are supplying water and oxygen, most notably, to the tunnels, the rat's nest of tunnels that are underneath Gaza. And once the fuel runs out, well, those Hamas fighters in the tunnels will not be able to breathe much longer. There is a new weapon that the IDF made public last week, which may also come into play here, called the sponge bomb. Sponge bomb. This is essentially a military-grade version of the spray foam that you use to insulate large buildings, the spray foam that you spray to fill in cracks between a door frame and the rest of a wall. Essentially, it's in a big plastic bag that gets dropped into a tunnel, and when the metal that separates the two volatile chemicals is removed, then suddenly you've got the tunnel sealed off with this polymer. Now, Hamas fighters would presumably be able to eventually get through it, but they wouldn't be able to do it quietly, which would give IDF soldiers some time sitting outside the entrance to one of those tunnels to wait and expect the emergence of the Hamas fighters. Former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett essentially laid out this strategy of just sitting back and watching, sealing off tunnel entries, and essentially putting Gaza, the tunnels anyway, under siege, and then just waiting for the fighters to come out dehydrated and oxygen deprived. He put this out in a Hebrew language post on X, formerly Twitter, over the weekend. Now, this is probably not the entire strategic plan, but intended to show Israelis that, yes, the Netanyahu government and the IDF have really thought this through. The thought of sending Israeli soldiers into those tunnels where they would be confronted with soldiers who've had years to prepare booby traps and ambush points is terrifying. So why do it? When you have a fortified, entrenched defensive position, its intrinsic, inherent weakness is that it can't be moved. So just cut them off from the outside world, sit back and wait. And that's what Bennett meant by saying time is on their side, and they've got all the time in the world. The bottom line is that the IDF does not intend to walk into the teeth of Hamas defenses, which would be foolish. And that is a good thing. Going into each tunnel one at a time would be horrific. Also, the IDF on Friday announced that Hamas has systematically turned the hospitals in Gaza into terror command centers and hideouts. The tunnels basically beneath the hospitals. So if the IDF wants to take out the tunnel network, they've got to bomb a hospital. The patients in the hospitals become human shields for Hamas trying to take out those tunnels. If they do it the way Hamas is expecting and hoping, actually, for public relations purposes, Israel basically either has to level a hospital, which the world would condemn, or it's got to send soldiers into the hospital, turn the hospital into a battle zone, which again, the world would condemn. What Bennett is saying is, we're not going to do that. Topic number 4, targeting Jews. The world's attitude towards Israel shifted pretty quickly after the initial expressions of sympathy after the events of October 7th. A terrifying scene played out in southwestern Russia over the weekend, which is a majority Muslim province called Dagestan. It's in the northern Caucasus region. A flight from Israel to the capital of the province, Makhachkala, was surrounded on the runway as the mob looked to find a way to get into the plane to find and then lynch Jewish passengers. Apparently, a Telegram channel that's followed by Muslims in Dagestan announced the arrival of this plane. Meanwhile, a mob surrounded a hotel in another city in Dagestan because of a rumor that Jewish migrants had checked in. People were shown on video going through the hotel room by room looking for Jewish Jewish guests. Meanwhile, Turkey's president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, told a massive pro-Hamas rally in Ankara that Hamas is not a terrorist organization and calling Israel an occupier. This reverses some warming in relations between Turkey and Israel over the last year or so. Erdogan added that Western powers were the main culprit behind the Israeli army's massacre, his word, of Palestinians in Gaza. Phone and internet connections in Gaza were cut off Wednesday or Friday evening. Some of that's been restored over the weekend, but obviously that was intended to keep the propaganda from Hamas from getting out to the rest of the world. And with Erdogan and Turkey, by the way, so opposed to the rest of NATO's position on this war, you just have to wonder whether Erdogan is planning to leave NATO or whether he is just stating this publicly for his own political position and also to extract some concessions from the Western powers. Okay, we'll let you continue using our bases if maybe some of that. And a weird story from Chicago on Sunday, a strange scene playing out downtown when a group of black Hebrew Israelites, that's a group that believes that Africans are the real Jews, that Israeli Jews are fake Jews, frankly, this is a cult. They got into a street brawl Sunday in Chicago with pro-Hamas demonstrators. Now, according to reports, it's not really clear what happened, but it appears that the black Hebrew Israelites wanted to join the anti-Israel protest that was taking place, and some of the pro-Hamas protesters saw the black Hebrew Israelite sign, saw the words Hebrew Israelites, and took them literally, and chaos ensued. I can just imagine Israeli Jews looking at this story got to be going, what? Topic number 3, World War III. The West African regional bloc, ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States, has quietly withdrawn its military. They'd been threatening to use force against the country of Niger, where there was a recent coup, and the former president was incarcerated. The bloc, ECOWAS, announced in August it had set a date for sending troops into Niger if President Mohamed Bazoum was not freed. He was deposed on July 26th. The decision to stand down was made because, according to one diplomat, no one is opting for military intervention anymore, end quote. What they're not saying, and I'm speculating here, trying to read between the lines, is that this bloc, which has got the support of the West, the coup in Niger not supported by the West because basically they're kicking out the French and American soldiers that have been based in Niger, is that Western powers like France and the U.S. are saying, look, we don't need a distraction right now. We've got enough on our hands with Ukraine and with what's happening in the Middle East. So let's just not open another front in what is beginning to look like the opening days of World War III. Topic number 2, the Maine shooter. We talked about this at the end of last week. U.S. Army reservist Robert Card, found by police on Friday night, dead, reportedly of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police in Maine received an alert last month about Card, saying that he'd been making veiled threats about shooting up the Army base where he'd been trained. He went on to, last week, carry out one of the worst mass shootings in American history. 18 people killed. I think on Friday I said 22. That was the report that I had in front of me at the time. 18 people killed. Now, new Speaker of the House of Representatives Mike Johnson, Republican of Louisiana, caught flack from anti-gun activists over the weekend for his comments that guns are not to blame for violent episodes like this. That is, the human heart. Evil in the human heart is what he meant. In other words, sin. Of course, the secular corporate media reacted like Johnson's got snakes growing out of his head. You're saying hearts kill people? Yeah, actually, that is what he means. I mean, if you want to use like the ancient Near Eastern concept, then it's livers, because that's where in biblical times people thought emotions resided was in the liver, not the heart. But you could just say minds, whatever. The bottom line is, yes, sin. Take away the guns. As in China, they will use machetes instead to commit horrific crimes like this. It is, in fact, what is in here and not what you're holding in your hand that leads one to commit these acts and take human life. Coming up, foxes guarding the chickens in the city of Baltimore. That's ahead on 5 and 10.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to make sure you know how you can get your copy of this incredible new book in the Before Genesis Master Collection. When you order the Before Genesis Master Collection from the skywatchtvstore.com, you'll receive the brand new book, Before Genesis, The Unauthorized History of Tohu, Bohu, and the Chaos Dragon in the Land Before Time by Dr. Thomas Horn and Donna Howell. In this phenomenal new work, you'll learn about the debate raging between the Old Earth and the Young Earth creationist groups, what the Earth was like during the without form and void era of Genesis 1-2, how ancient archaeological sites like Göbekli Tepe and the Doorway of the Serpent point to an intelligent race of beings on Earth alive before the time of Adam and under Lucifer's fallen influence. And for the first time ever, the conclusion to the events of Genesis that merges all contributing voices from not only the young and old creationist groups, but the scientific community as well, into one balanced and agreeable climax. But that's not all. You'll also receive the amazing DVD, What Lies Beneath, The Lost Secrets of the Watchers Below Göbekli Tepe, featuring archaeologist and author Dr. Aaron Judkins and best-selling author Derek Gilbert as they reveal Göbekli Tepe's historical use as a place of watchers worship, the evidence of a cult that venerated human skulls and reptilian creators, and the links between the god of Göbekli Tepe and the Bible. Also included in this must-have master collection are the digital, downloadable e-book versions of the Earth's earliest ages, Unearthing the Lost World of the Cloud Eaters, and the Apocrypha, including the Book of Enoch. These three masterpiece works will be available for download immediately when you place your order for the Before Genesis Master Collection and are being included in this offer absolutely free. All of these items hold a retail value of over $85. Yours now for your donation of only $35 plus shipping and handling. So don't delay. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Before Genesis Master Collection right now.
Item number one this week, this is what you call foxes guarding the henhouse. Democrats, who basically control the city of Baltimore, they've been sending city and state tax monies into a super progressive anti-violence program called Safe Streets. This pushes non-policing techniques to deter violent crime. Mayor Brandon Scott, he's been a real champion of Safe Streets. Many residents in Baltimore, however, not quite as fond of the program, especially since last week word came out that the FBI raided a Safe Streets location in northeast Baltimore. That took place Thursday. Local media, WBAL-TV, said it wasn't clear what the FBI was looking for. The local Fox affiliate said federal agents were looking into possible gang affiliations. In other words, gangs had taken over the Safe Streets program. At least that is the report, according to the local Fox affiliate in Baltimore. And given the fact that people and businesses are fleeing Baltimore because crime is out of control, it's possible that the taxpayer money intended to promote Safe Streets was actually being diverted to, shall we say, malfeasance. Well, Skywatch TV continues our 6-week investigative series on Donna Howell's new book, Before Genesis. What happened before the creation of Adam and Eve? Was there something that took place, a rebellion that took place in the spirit realm? This series continues this week. You don't miss this series because this is the last series of programs that Tom Horn recorded. As you know, he's now home with the Lord. And if you missed the previous programs, please go back and watch. You can see all of our video programs, by the way. All of our archives are available at the website, skywatchtv.com, and at our Roku and Apple TV channels. You can watch it right there. Our broadcast schedule for the over-the-air program is, which is, again, the one that's available at the website. But if you're watching over-the-air on your favorite Christian television network, our schedule is posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. But best of all, probably, is to get our free mobile app. Smartphone or tablet, all of our video content is there. Other features as well, including an audio Bible with multiple translations. It's written and audio, and available for iOS, Android, Amazon Kindle Fire, phones, and tablets, multiple platforms as well. And to make it easy to find the right app for your device, we've got the links to the app stores for all of those platforms at skywatchtv.com. Thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.